Hello
Hiya.
everyone, we are back. It's now the evening. We've done 2 videos about the Cassandra Clare books. If you haven't checked them out, please do. I'll obviously put links to them below.
Yeah, and I've got gin, so...
And I've got a bit of Diet Coke.
So, what should we talk about now, Becky?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps a little show called Shadowhunters.
Yeah!
Okay, so, carrying on with the Cassandra Clare world and stuff, we're going to talk about Shadowhunters. We're also going to talk about the film version of the first Immortal Instrument. Do you want to do this one first?
Yes, let's get this
let's get this one out of the way first. So, the thing with the film, it was the film that triggered me to read the books. I saw it in the cinema when it came out, and even though I watched it, I could tell very clearly there were massive chunks which were done specifically for cinema.
Yeah.
It was too obvious. And that was me. I didn't know anything about the books, and I could tell that sequence has been done for film audiences. That can't be right. So this is why, and I was intrigued by the runes and the structure of this world and everything, and that's what led me to the books. But so in a sense, having read the books multiple times, it's quite different from the books, but at the same time, if it wasn't for this film, it wouldn't have led me to the books, and I appreciate it as a completely separate entity.
Yeah. It's not a bad film.
Yeah.
It's a poor adaptation. But I will give everybody involved credit.
Yeah.
Because although, I mean, the portal scene, for one, is a little... and the bits with Handel and the music.
Oh God, the music. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
However, I do enjoy this as a film.
Yeah, so do I.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I've watched a lot of movie reviews of it from people who had read the books first. And I can absolutely appreciate their point of view that a lot of the stuff that is important in the books and drives the narrative is not in that film.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't know, there are things about it. Now I know the characters a lot better. That I agree with them. Like Izzy in the film, Isabel.
Yep.
Part of Isabel's armour is her sexuality.
Yes.
In the film, they didn't do that.
No, she's
like
tough girl.
She's like a Bodicea almost kind of character, isn't she?
Yeah. But quite a lot of the time she's just pissed off.
And I can't help but feel... I can't help but feel that was done so that the focus as the pretty girl was put on Lily Collins as Clary.
As Clary, I agree. Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't have 2 attractive girls in a film.
Yeah.
Well, you can. Yeah. You absolutely can.
I could see her totally, in an army film, with the boys doing all the stuff that they needed to do. And even though she did wear sexy outfits for the club scene and such, and you know, she was sexy in her vest tops and such, but she wasn't Izzy.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't Isabel Lightwood. She was, let's get a pretty-ish girl, but not one that's too pretty to stand next to Lily Collins.
Yeah, I agree.
Who, to be fair to her, Lily Collins was very good as Clary.
I thought she did a good job as Clary.
I thought she did a very good job as Clary. The Jamie Campbell Bower
as Jace.
He got the sarcastic bit of Jace
pretty well.
Very well.
Yeah. For what he was given to do with it.
But the vulnerability side of Jace is just not there.
And
at all.
To be honest, I don't know if it's that thing, because we have talked about his body in this film. Now, I'm not gonna, criticize his body, because that's a really horrible thing to do.
It is,
When you look at his body, he kind of looks a bit emaciated.
He does.
And it's quite startling. But obviously to a young teenager, that'd be like, oh, that's really... But then if you compare him to Dominic in Shadowhunters, he plays the same character. He has muscle.
Strong, healthy body.
Yeah. and it's what I thought that Jace
would
look like.
Yeah.
So it's not a criticism of his body, it's more of a bit of a concern.
Concern, because I must admit, I went back after I'd watched the TV show.
Yeah.
I put the film on.
Yeah.
And I saw Jamie Campbell-Bower standing in that doorway.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's not healthy.
It doesn't look,
and it doesn't look like the body of a warrior either.
Jason, Alec, Alec looks more, because you can see his muscles through his shirt. Yeah. We don't see him topless. I can remember.
I would remember if we did.
Oh, the most.
Because I'm thirsty. Literally, thank you.
You see, like, in very short sleeves or no sleeve, vesty kind of stuff. But you can see he's got muscle. He's got definition.
Yes.
And the skinny kind of type. I get that it's
it's attractive to a particular...
an attractive thing for a particular audience group, but it's not attractive to me.
It's not attractive to me either, and I don't, like you said, I don't want to be critical of somebody's body type, because that's terrible, and I don't know anything about Jamie Campbell-Bower. That could literally just be his body type. Yeah. But all I'm saying is, looking at Dominic Sherwood and looking at Jamie Campbell-Bower, it does jump out.
And maybe it is that thing of Hollywood going, we need you to be a particular body, and
I
it's
was just reading
male actors as well as female actors.
I was just reading on Tumblr just now how when they were filming Twilight, they painted abs onto Robert Pattinson.
Really?
Yes.
Did they need to?
Well, this is the thing. Taylor Lautner, who played Jacob,
who was topless,
95% of the time, because
as joked on that, how it should have ended. It's written into his contract,
kind of. Yeah, but he was put under immense pressure to stay on a diet, to work out constantly. To maintain that body.
It's like when you see actors who've done Marvel films and such, they are so relieved when that is over.
I
they
think
can
to
actually,
a degree.
Hugh Jackman was so relieved that he didn't have to go to the gym all the time, and he could actually relax and eat something that he wanted to eat. But that's it's the pressure. It's
the pressure on male stars of teen films. Perhaps there is something,
and you can see it in TV series like Riverdale with Archie. Because let's face it, he was topless pretty much 97% probably 98% of the time of the last series.
Right, I wouldn't know. I haven't watched it.
He was just boxing all the time,
but anyway,
or having sex.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do. But he's not a man, though, is he?
No,
he's not a man. He's a 17-year-old boy.
Well, that's what the pressures of young actors. Have to be a certain.
Although, how old is KJ Apa?
21, I think.
So
22? I'm not sure.
God, that makes me feel so old.
But anyway, put light on.
This film is really good. Oh my God, my hair is greasy as fuck.
Oh, don't worry.
But never mind. This film is very good if you just want to put it in the context of a teenage film about a girl that discovers herself in a world that she didn't know existed. I like it.
Yeah. It does have some silly jokes in it, which are there to, the whole bit, with Luke, isn't it? Where Clary says when they get in the car, oh, you can stick your head out the window if you want to because he's a werewolf. Yeah. And he's like, I'm a werewolf, I'm not a Labrador puppy or something like that. Yeah. And he's like, you're about to go off to have a massive battle. Do we really need that joke now? Silly things like that. Yeah. But it's stuff that you can deal with, stuff you can cope with. And I just want to give a shout out to Aidan Turner as Luke in it. Yes. Just because, hang on.
Yes.
You know how much I adore being human, and he was a vampire in that, but he's got very kind of animalistic
very
features. So to see him as a werewolf, I was happy with that.
And I have to say as well, Ms. Lena Headey as Jocelyn,
Clary's mother, And Jonathan Rhys-Meyers
as Valentine! Chin chin, baby!
Yeah.
Oh, and I loved how everybody was allowed to keep their accents, even if it made no sense whatsoever.
Completely.
Irish Luke and Irish Valentine.
Yeah.
And
I'm up with that.
British Lena Headey. Or Jocelyn.
American Clary.
American Clary. Who, do you know what? It always confuses me with Lily Collins. Because
she was British born, but she grew up in America.
So, like,
when she was about 3, I think she came.
Because I've seen her in what's the film she does with Sam Claflin? Love Rosie, where she's British, and in this she's American,
and in Les Miserables she's British,
and it's like she can switch, and it really confuses me.
Yeah.
It really confuses me.
Because I remember you said your message going, Lily Collins has got a really good American accent. I'm like, that's her natural accent.
It was annoying. It was annoying. But shout out as well to the amazing Godfrey Gow, who played Magnus Bane, who looked so good as Magnus Bane.
That's the one criticism I have. Well, okay, 2 criticisms, sorry.
Yeah.
One criticism, I didn't like the outfit that he put Magnus in his introduction. Because does Magnus really need to just be walking around his underwear and a black jacket that's completely open
Magnus
for no reason?
Flamboyant.
Yeah.
Part of Magnus's armour is his fashion.
Yes.
He loves glitter. He loves...
Because I remember that you saw that bit, and then I can't remember, you were looking through the copy of the book or something, or I sent you a picture of the page or something, and it described his full outfit. You went, that's Magnus.
That's Magnus.
You totally knew that was Magnus, didn't you?
Because he is flamboyant. He's like... to the point of campery, but not like over the top.
Yeah,
like
he knows where to pull back.
Yeah,
kind of.
But I love the way
I was just about to say, kind of like Elton John, but not concert Elton John. Elton John at a formal like a royal occasion when he was friends with Diana. Where he's there, but you can see his style, but he pulls it back.
Yeah,
that is Magnus.
Not like. I mean, in the show, they dress him in a very, like I said, it's flamboyant. It's kind of shabby, chic, and sort of it's got flavours of like the 18th century with his cuffs and his.
But then he has his Chinese culture.
Yeah, and his rings. He's constantly wearing rings, and he has like Oriental style jackets and things.
Or certain cuts of certain materials are very Oriental,
like silks. And he wears a lot of silk and patterned things, but it always looks so good on him.
I just feel that Oriental is not really good, but then is it? I don't know.
Well, no, because it's
Asian,
Eastern fabric. Yeah. Patterned fabric, if that's the way you want to say it. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what you're
trying to say. Yeah.
But anyway, but then the Magnus in the film is very much, I'm just going to wear a pair of teeny tiny boxer shorts and have a jacket wide open, and that's going to be me, baby. But they didn't really give him much space to work with, really.
But there was some lovely chemistry between him and the actor that played Alec.
There was a little second criticism is to do with the amount of time they developed certain elements or certain relationships. So, like, Magnus and Alec get 2 scenes together, and one of them, Alec is unconscious.
That's also,
and that's it. Like, the whole thing with Simon with the bites on his neck, he's like, oh, I can see without my glasses now, even though I've had to use glasses since I was, like, 1.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And he just don't refer to it. And it's like, it's pretty big.
It's pretty important, yeah.
But then you have to also, bring up the argument that they didn't really have time because it's only like an hour and 3/4
And I
film
think
or
they
something.
had presumed that they would get feature
I think
films.
Especially because there's like books about the making of and everything. They went big with this, expecting it to be a big hit, and it was a massive flop. But they didn't really promote it. That was the problem.
And they also kind of betrayed the audience in as much as they touted it as an adaptation, and it is very loosely.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same story, but it doesn't really hit the plot points.
No,
because when I was reading the book, I was remembering the film, and I was like, that didn't happen in the film.
Yeah.
Why didn't that happen? That's actually really important.
So that's why I remember when I told you when you went to watch the film, I was like, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
You've really got to.
Yeah. But shall we move on? Because we're 15 minutes in.
So anyway, so that's the film. It's good, but it's very different.
Yeah.
Take it as a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for what it is, but it's not that great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. And then, so with Shadowhunters, so Laura, because it was kind of this series that was on Netflix, and I knew it was adapted from Cassandra Clare books, and I think maybe it was because of the disappointment of the film that, even though I saw the film first, but I knew the books, well, I think that's why I might have been reluctant to watch it, and nobody I knew had seen it, and nobody I knew had read the books. So I didn't have someone to reassure me to go, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
So you watched them.
I did, because after we did our OCP video, I went home and I just decided, right, I'm just going to watch this.
Yeah.
And I had, by that point, or I think it was it was the week I actually started reading City of Bones.
Mm-hmm.
And I realised how to watch Shadowhunters as a book reader, you have to divorce yourself from the books.
It pretty much took me till I think the second or third episode of series 2.
The reason being is the showrunners and the writers took elements of the books and just kind of did their own thing with the characters with the same names. Mm-hmm. Which I think is why Cassandra Clare and the BookTube family didn't push Shadowhunters. Mm-hmm. Because certainly towards the end of season 1 and 2 and so on, Shadowhunters is kind of televised fan fiction. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't follow the book's story faithfully.
There's chunks of it which relate to the book. Yes. So they've given certain parts of the book to another character. So it is still there.
Yeah.
But it is still completely different. And you do have this thing where you'll have 3 or 4 episodes which you can go, oh right, that's taken from the book, and then you won't have another chunk from the book for another 6 episodes.
Yeah. But
so it's so I think that's why it took me until the second or third episode of series 2 for me to completely divorce it from my mind.
Yeah.
And go, that's the books. Yeah. This is this.
Well, I saw a behind the scenes video, and the executive producer said that when he was talking to Cassandra Clare, because she was involved, I think, for the first season, but then I think once they made it clear that they were using the books as a loose outline rather than a absolute, this is what's got to happen. Yeah. She had to step away, right, because of this legal thing where she's not allowed to read fan fiction. Yeah. Or presumably watch the show in case she is subconsciously influenced by it. So they could claim that it's what's it called? Plagiarism.
Yeah.
So Cassandra Clare and certainly booktubers really stepped away. So basically, Shadowhunters was standing on its own.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I absolutely love Shadowhunters. It took me a while.
Yeah.
I'll not lie. Yeah. It took me probably to the midpoint of season 1 for me to really fall for it.
Yeah.
But I love that show. It is so, so good.
Yeah, so then when Laura finished watching it, she told me to watch it because I felt more reassured. Yeah. Even though you hadn't...
Because when you hadn't really got the Malik wedding...
Well, no. I started watching it the Maybank holiday. So it was the Saturday, so it was the 4th of May. And the Malik wedding aired on the 6th. Oh, 7th,
it was the 7th for us. Yeah.
So I had 3 days and nothing to do. And I was like, okay, if Laura says this is good, I know you hadn't read all the books at that point, but I was like, I'm trust that it's good.
Yeah.
So I booted up my laptop. It was Saturday. I was sat right here and I didn't move for 10 hours.
Yeah.
And I watched the entire first series in one sitting.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, same with me. I think it took about 4 or 5 episodes of me to really get into it, because I was battling in my mind, going, why is there so many people in the Institute? There's only like a few of them. Why have they got technology in the Institute? They don't have that.
Yeah.
Why have they got that safe? That doesn't exist. You know, I kept on in my mind, but I couldn't help it because I knew the book so well.
Yeah.
But when I managed, but I kept on kind of going, right, but this is a TV series, and I can see where they've played with other things and developed that, and that's okay. But I literally, I sat for those 10 hours, and then you sent me a message going, are you going to start series 2 today? I was like, oh no, I've been staring at a laptop for 10 hours. So no, I can't. So
I mean, the first series is low budget. Let's be honest.
Compared to the other two,
because
especially the final 2 episodes of series 3, because they done it like mad on those 2.
They got new writers, new special effects people. They changed a lot of the team behind the scenes between 1 and 2, and the quality went up by miles. It was amazing.
Yeah, the cast are very interesting. The cast look more like book characters.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Than the film.
Definitely.
So like we said, like Dominic.
That
hurt.
Are
you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Dominic, who plays Jace.
Jace, yeah.
Looks like Jace.
He does. He is Jace in my mind.
He looks like an older Jace.
Yeah.
But has book Jace's body, which I know that sounds strange, but it's it's how I saw Jace, but he does look older.
Yeah.
In his in his look. Clary, for me, the girl who plays Clary,
Catherine McNamara.
That's it, Catherine McNamara.
Yeah.
Good actress, but series 1 she's rather wooden. For me, personally. She gets better. She gets better as it goes on.
For Catherine McNamara, this is probably, I know she's been acting for a long time. I don't know if this was like her first leading role or not, but she got so good by the end of Shadowhunters. I was so proud of her.
I saw this behind the scenes thing, and she was talking about her getting the job. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
And she went, literally, when it got announced that I was playing Clary, I found out 15 minutes before. I was in the gym, completely covered in sweat, going like crazy. My agent calls me and says, you're starting press in half an hour. And she had to run to get to the press. And she just got out of the gym, soaking, covered in sweat.
Yeah.
And then she has to do press coverage for it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So it must have been quite a startling thing.
Catherine, became so good as Clary. I mean, to be fair to all of them, all of the actors raised their game.
But I think also you have that thing, especially in America, where they'll shoot the pilot. Yeah. And if the pilot goes well, then they'll do the rest of the series. So it could well be, because she's quite, as I said, quite wooden just at the beginning of the series, but then she gets better. It might well be because that was shot long before. Yeah. The rest of the series was, but I don't know if that's the case.
But going back to Dominic Sherwood, his performance as Jace.
Oh my god!
I've got to say, he does not get enough credit for his performance as Jace. Yeah. I mean, people look to, Harry Shum Jr. and Matthew Daddario with absolutely Magnus and Alec with absolute good reason. Yeah. I don't think that Dominic Sherwood gets enough credit for his performance as Jace.
I don't think
he plays Jace's vulnerability, his quite poor mental health at certain points, and his absolute dedication to his job. Yeah, beautifully.
As we said in the books, it kind of feels like Jace. He's very sarcastic, but he has a lot of issues with his feelings. Yeah. And you know that if one feeling goes slightly over his limit, he will break.
A Herondale.
And you can see that. Yeah. I mean, look at the series 1 with Alec, when it's possible that they might lose Alec. sorry, just going to cover
That's
spoilers.
series 2. Yeah,
Sorry,
we should have
series
said
2.
spoilers.
Yeah. Look at, well, I'll put that in the subject.
Yeah.
Look at his reaction to Clary's letter in the
Yeah.
final. Look at his scene where, you know, they because there's this point in series 3 where Jace is like possessed, which is kind of like the books, which we discussed in the video. When Alec and Izzy go into his mind, and there's that whole scene in the room full of dead Clarys. It's
he does that so beautifully.
Yeah.
I honestly, I know that not enough people sort of seem to give him this credit, but it's very, very hard. Surely it must be very hard to show that level of vulnerability, particularly as a man, because Jace cries a lot in Shadowhunters. He's never shamed for it.
Yeah.
It's never made a big deal, and that's one of the things I love so much is the kind of. There is no toxic masculinity in this show at all.
Yeah,
with like the parabatai bond.
I just realised in the film one, Jace doesn't cry or anything.
No,
he gets angry.
He barely talks to Alec. He
snogs Clary, obviously, for a couple of times, and that's it.
I mean, let's not even talk about that.
The only reaction when he you know, with the whole head against Valentine, he kind of goes, "No, that's it." He doesn't, but like, he doesn't break any further than that.
No. But like the parabatai bond in Shadowhunters is so strong.
Yeah.
Like there is no way that you can look at Jace and Alec together and not know that these two would literally die for each other.
Yeah.
And I love that neither Magnus nor Clary are threatened by that bond.
Yeah.
That there's no. The only true soul mate for them is each other, but the loves of their lives are Magnus and Clary.
Yeah, it's so funny. There is actually a real funny scene when Jace is talking to Magnus about his evening with Alec, and it happens to be the previous evening that Magnus and Alec slept together for the first time.
Yeah,
and Magnus is kind of trying to explain, but not actually explaining it very well. And Jace is like, "Don't worry, you don't need to tell me. I know, you know."
Yeah,
we're parasites. And Magnus kind of goes,
and Magnus is like, does that mean that you felt?
And Jace is like, no. He's like, no. I could tell that he was very happy. That's it. You know, it's a valid, you know, thing to.
It's mad. And Harry Shaw Jr. just does it in a look, but he's like, does that mean you felt that? Does Alec? Does Alec feel it every time? You know, no, it's not like that.
The range of cast that are in it, just as the range of characters in Cassandra Clare's world. You've got people of different
so many people,
different ethnicities, from different countries, various different nationalities, sexualities, genders.
I love
every possible kind of creed.
I love that they cast a black man to play Luke, who is canonically white. That they just gave it to Isaiah Mustafa.
To be honest, I at first, because there was, you know, this probably sounds bad, but because I knew that in the book Luke is white, in the film Luke is white, and there was, you know, a white guy who was, you know, who was actually his partner, or, you know, his colleague, and Luke, played by this black man. I thought automatically, I know this probably sounds very bad, that it must be that guy was Luke. And then when they addressed Luke and he turned around, I was like, that's brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. But I don't know if it was just programmed because he looked like Luke. He looks like Book Luke, doesn't he? His colleague.
He does.
So I couldn't help automatically thinking, that's going to be good. But I was so happy that
in terms of like the diversity, you know, there are characters who are LGBT who aren't even in the books, like Luke's partner. Ollie, who is a woman who is living with a woman. And you know, they don't shy away from it. Like they show Ollie taking a phone call. And the woman next to her is in bed, and she's like, "Will you turn your phone off, come to bed. You know,
Yeah.
It's
not a big
things,
deal.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
But you know, you have things like Magnus is bisexual, Raphael is asexual. But what I love about it is that they don't ever use the label.
No.
They just kind of explain, like Raphael says, I'm just not interested in sex.
Yeah.
And because he's in a relationship with Izzy, and Izzy's like, well, did that happen because you're a vampire? And he says, no, this is just the way I am.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. I love the diversity in Shadowhunters. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And like I said, pretty much everyone looks like their book character.
Yes.
So this is why, with Luke, I was like, oh, it's that guy. And I just felt overjoyed. I thought that was brilliant for them to do that. But yeah, especially Jocelyn looks like Jocelyn.
Yes.
The casting of this is so good for families.
Yeah.
That they all look alike. It's not like they've just put random actors together.
Like, Matthew Daddario and Emerald Tubia, who plays Izzy, look like brother and sister.
Yeah.
And they look like Robert and Maris.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But can we talk about Matthew Daddario?
Go on, talk about Matthew Daddario. He plays Alec, Laura's favourite.
I'm sorry, right? Alec is my favourite anyway, but the fact he is played by possibly one of the most beautiful men on earth. Like, literally, I don't know how it's possible for someone to be that beautiful. It's like you need a new word for beautiful. His eyes are like...
Yeah, he and his sister have got, like, freakishly stunning eyes. Two sisters. But they've got freakishly stunning eyes.
Massive
because the sister who I'm thinking of was in Percy Jackson films. Alexandria, that's it. She was in the Percy Jackson films. And it's like, when I first saw her in that, I was like, are they her eyes? Because they just... And clear blue eyes are amazing.
Catherine, their other sister, has got clear blue eyes as well.
And he's got dark.
He's got like brown eyes, but my God, he's like some other kind of beautiful. Like, if he looked at me, I would be scared that he would burn my corneas because he's like that gorgeous.
Yeah.
But he's also a really good actor. Let's like take the sort of physical stuff out of the way, but I mean, damn. But like, he's a great actor as well. And so is Harry Shun Jr. As Magnus. Yeah. I mean, the episodes in the second half of season 3 for both of them were just extraordinary.
They were amazing. And they played out, but I think because they had the room to do it in a TV show, their relationship
in real time. Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny that I say that in real time, because the TV series, sometimes it'll say, like, I think it was the beginning of series 2 or something, someone referred to Clary having only been there for a couple of weeks. I'm like, we're in series 2?
Yeah.
What?
The timeline.
So the timeline is a bit...
The timeline is a bit skewed, because if you take it literally, like, Alec goes from being an utterly closeted, like, closed down person to married to a man in the front of his entire world in 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't take the timeline seriously at all.
Yeah, it's just you do get some random lines like that, and it's like, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been like...
It's been like 15 episodes. How is that?
I know. And like, Malik have broken up 3 times in 2 weeks. Like, no. It's not like that. But it's just okay. So, let's talk about Izzy.
Okay, I thought you still want to carry on about Alec.
Magnus and Alec are the backbone of that show. They are the heart of that show. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. But they aren't the only couple in the show. No, they're not. They're not in the slightest, but I love that they give all of the couples equal amount of time Cissy didn't really get that much
no, but
time.
Cissy didn't get together until right near the end of the final series, so they didn't really have that time.
No, but the main...
But
Malik.
But they got a Cissy sex scene in the
They
very last
did.
episode, which
They
was
did.
completely that was the beginning sequence. Of like, where the hell did that come from?
And I loved like the epilogue at the end. They're clearly still together and still very happy together.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that.
Yeah, totally.
I must say.
But they do give equal weight to the various couple, and even when they are there. Weight to other couples from their parents and such.
Yeah.
So you have scenes with like Maris and Robert and such, and you see kind of issues with their relationship. Not as much because they're not always around, but when they're there, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
They're present in the story.
So
do you want to that easy?
Yeah. Just one more note on Alec.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed how they built up Alec's obvious love for Magnus, which culminated in 312 with the wedding. And he kisses him at his own wedding to Lydia Branwell, which was a nice little nod to the book fandom there. Yeah. And I just loved the way that Magnus sort of slowly teased out of him that he was attracted to him and that he could take the chance if he wanted to, and he leaves it very much up to Alec.
Yeah, and I found it very interesting. I think because the way that I watched it also was slightly different, because I had those 3 days, and it had just so happened that when I finished those 3 days, I think I had about 4 episodes left or something.
Yeah.
But it just so happened that the next day was when the last final 2 episodes aired, so they went on Netflix. Yeah. So I was able to bulk watch all the way to all 3 series, bang.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, with you and other fans, they had to do the waiting game.
I woke up at 2 a.m. every Tuesday morning for 11 weeks because I needed to know what was going on with my boys, all right? I needed to know.
Yeah, because we in the UK got it the following morning.
We did, yeah.
So it was, so for me, I was able to watch it in bulk.
Yeah.
And I found that really interesting for the way, but obviously for you, it must have been like agonising, especially 3. And I have to say, like, as I was watching it, because of the whole thing of how Shadowhunters got cancelled and the waiting game and all that, I kind of got to a point and I was like, oh my God. And you were like, and this is the point where we had to wait a year if you watched it, you watched it. And I was like, I cannot understand how the Shadowhunter fans waited a year. Because even the wait was worth it, because the quality was fabulous.
Yes, it was.
But how you were able to handle that, I have no idea.
Well, I because I started watching it in the January, it came back in February, so I only had to wait a month. I didn't have to wait.
So kind of like with me with Stranger Things.
Yes.
Between series 1 and 2, I only had to wait 2 months. I think
we all knew that the ending was going to be the Malik wedding. They had said, or they'd seriously like hinted with like behind the scenes photographs of Matthew and Harry in suits, and it was obviously it was a formal occasion. Mm-hmm. So we assumed it was a Malik wedding, right? What we didn't know was to get to the wedding, we had to walk through the valley of pain and trauma. And I'm telling you,
kind of like the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was agony.
Yeah.
It was literal agony. There were
and it spans many episodes.
It does. 318 was awful and beautiful and heartbreaking and
that hurt.
Perfect.
That hurt. That properly hurt.
That was like
yeah.
And like, it was so beautifully done.
Yeah.
And Matthew and Harry, you men of parks, you were fantastic. You were absolutely fantastic in that. But like I was saying to you, in the book video.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Matthew Daddario. He is 31 years old. He's a grown man. Harry Shum Jr. is 38.
Yeah.
When I was reading City of Lost Souls, and I think about Alec in my head, I see Matthew Daddario's face.
Yeah.
That's why I think I got angry with Alec for the way he was acting in Lost Souls.
He's like, Matthew, how could you?
How could you? How dare you do that?
But he's an 18-year-old.
He's an 18-year-old young man.
Yeah.
Whereas Alec in the show is a grown man.
But I like that they
aged them up.
They look.
Yeah.
It's strange how you have that thing that in the book you know that they're 18, but in the TV series they look, 28 or something. You've got this older look to them. But then you do have that thing of, well, hang on, they're acting that way because technically, this is the situation. You forget, kind of elements to that, but they look like the book characters to me.
They do.
To me, and I think if I do reread the books, I'm not going to be able to stop myself from seeing them.
Yeah.
That cast.
No, that's fair enough. Anyway, let's talk about Queen Izzy.
Izzy. I didn't like Izzy when it first started.
No,
I didn't like Izzy. No, right. The reason why was because I felt like Izzy in the books, she is sexy.
She is sexy, and she knows it.
She knows it. She, flaunts it. She's got it. She's going to flaunt it. I didn't mind that, and she flaunts it in this TV show as well. But I kind of felt like there's more to her than the sexy outfits. It's kind of like what Izzy lacked in the film. Yeah. They went completely 150%, over the top. Yeah. In the TV series. And I'm like, no, I need a balance. Yeah. This isn't quite right. But then what they did, which was genius, was that they made her such a great scientist. They made her have all of these different abilities and techniques, which brought her character around, but they didn't show those kind of techniques, as it were, until about 3 episodes or something in. Yes, because, and then as soon as I saw that, I was like, damn, girl, damn, I love you. Because,
there's an attack at the Jade Wolf and a demon, and they've no idea what kind of demon this thing is. Yeah. They take the body back to the Institute, and they said, we've got a really good forensic scientist. Yeah. And we were like, who's that? Who's that? And it's Izzy. Yeah. Izzy is a massively respected scientist. And she's also an equal. Yes. Whenever she says to the guys, I think that this is a good lead, or if I do this, this could happen. Mm-hmm. They listen to her. They respect her. Yeah. They know that she knows what she's talking about. Yeah, and she doesn't allow things to distract her. No. And when I say things, I don't mean physically mean like there's someone in the way of her. I mean, if she doesn't allow certain thoughts or emotions take her focus off something. Yeah. And if something does get in the way, she tallies up in her head what is the right thing to do and what's the wrong thing to do, and she goes with her gut and does what she needs to do. As well that they showed that a recovering addict, because she becomes addicted to Yin Fen, which again is another book reference thing. To the Fatal Devices pupils. Yeah. They show that she becomes addicted to this. It takes over her life. Mm-hmm. She takes control of it finally, and she recovers, and she is still a valued member of the Institute, and I love despite her addiction. I love that Alec is there to help her when she goes cold turkey. Yeah, and her love for Max. You're right. Yeah, I'm fine. Her love for Max is just wonderful. You see them playing together. I am so glad that they did not. I know exactly what you're going to say. They did not do what they Cassie did in the book. To Max, because that would have really hurt. Very, very hard to watch. And I think it would have been too much for Izzy in that, because even though she is close to Max in the book, I kind of feel like with book Izzy that there is this point where she goes, right, I've got to go to work, whereas Izzy will, in the TV series, will put off work to play with Max. No, she won't. Well, at least that's how I feel. I really liked as well how Clary and Izzy's relationship, it doesn't start from a place of toxicity like it does in the books.
Yeah.
That Clary is wary of Izzy. I think she's intimidated by Izzy's sexuality.
Yeah.
But eventually they become like the best of friends.
Yeah. But I think also the shift in the show where in the Institute in the books, there's only a few of them that are there. Whereas in the TV series, there's constantly people walking around and doing this, that, and the other. And they've got all this tracking technology and such, which they don't have in the books. Yeah. So the fact that she has always been the only girl and then suddenly this other girl comes in, you can understand why there might be a bit of funniness and hostility, in a sense, whereas there might not be in Shadowhunters because the people around them.
Simon,
I love Simon.
Alberto Roselli. Alberto is so good as Simon.
So good as Simon.
He nails that kind of geeky, gawky, awkward teenage boy who becomes just the bravest soul.
Yes.
And the best man.
I think he captured Simon perfectly. Yeah. Because the thing with, I think, right, in the book, as we've discussed in our other videos, Simon does have issues with Clary in regards to, being head over heels in love and going, well, I've been her best friend forever, so that means I deserve to have her. That kind of thing. And it's like, Simon, well, back.
Yeah, that's not
whereas they kind of play with that in Shadowhunters, but they make it that Simon only approaches Clary about that when he knows that, in a sense, Jace isn't a threat, as it were, or at least he believes it. And he does that thing where he kind of does baby steps about it, and when he realises it's a no, he steps back.
Yes, he does.
He goes, okay, I'm not going to ruin our friendship over this.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, Clary and Simon do get together for a short amount of time.
They do, for a short while.
But then it kind of fizzles out, doesn't it? And that was actually quite good.
It was perfectly natural.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And they ended on both their terms, in a sense. And they weren't hostile about it to each other or to the other people around them. And she was so happy with Maya when Maya got together Simon. And that's wonderful. Yeah. They were able to do that,
Yeah. I did like that about Shadowhunters, that when relationships ended, there was hardly ever happened that there was ever any residual bitterness or anything like that, that kind of toxic idea that someone belongs to you.
Yeah.
Everybody who is in a relationship is there by choice, and that's just it.
Yeah. But what I especially adored was that they really explored Simon's relationship with his family.
Yes.
And here's a spoiler, because we've said we're doing spoilers, when the whole transformation into a vampire happens, which is in the book as well, he goes through a hell of a lot.
And Alberto acted that beautifully.
Oh my gosh, that phone call to Clary, that message to Clary, going, and he's freaking out.
Yeah.
And worried about, is he going to attack his mum and his sister, and what's he going to do? What does this mean? It was amazing to watch. I have to say, I think he did an absolutely incredible job, and for direct from the book, they did wonderful.
They blindsided me with one direct from the book, and that is in the very last episode when Jace talked to Clary about how much he loves her, and then Clary does the same. And I was reading Heavenly Fire last Sunday, and I got to that point, and I was like, fuck, they literally took this word for word, and I was crying anyway. I cried so much harder, and kudos to Dom and Kat for delivering those speeches so beautifully. I loved that. Yeah. I loved that it ended the way it ended. I mean, a lot of Clay's fans were not happy with their ending.
I loved it.
I loved it too. I thought it was gorgeous.
I thought it was beautiful.
I thought it was a new beginning.
I think the whole thing with the angels and with Clary and breaking the rules and all that lot.
Yeah. It's a bit harsh. It's
Jocelyn
really harsh.
actually says when she comes to tell her, is it Jocelyn?
It is Jocelyn. Yeah.
She says something about, because Clary said, well, is that going to be, the punishment? And she said, angels sometimes change their minds. They might want to, they might feel that you've fulfilled the punishment and it's time to change. So you never know.
Yeah.
And the fact that happens right at the bit, and I love the fact that you have like the recognition of each other.
Yeah.
And when she asks him about the runes, and
she
then the
touches
shot,
him.
she touches his rune, and and they kind of look at each other, and then the shot just literally it goes up into the air, and then that's it. It's kind of
and there's that bright
you don't
golden
need any more.
light.
You don't need any more.
See, to
you don't
me,
need any more than that.
That was symbolic of forgiveness and the fact that Jace had prayed and prayed and prayed and kept the faith in their love.
Yeah.
That fidelity is what the angels wanted.
Yeah.
And when she touches him,
yeah,
their bond, they both feel that bond.
And it mirrored the first episode, because in the first episode he's walking along and she sees him, and it goes straight from the book saying, you can see me, because he's invisible.
Yeah.
And he's invisible in the gallery, and she sees him, and she goes up to him, and he's like, you can see me. It was really, it was a really gorgeous mirroring of that first sequence in the first episode.
Malik. The Inquisitor and the High Warlock of Alicante. I screamed. It was everything. I was so happy. I was so happy.
I went through a lot of emotions. that bank holiday weekend, because I sat and
you were a mess.
Binged. I properly binged for 3 days.
It was everything. It was fantastic.
I cried my eyes out, and you
I was your emotional support person.
You sent me over Messenger, over video, didn't we? And I was bawling my eyes out, and we had a chat about it, and it was that ending was everything that it should have been. And even though the fandom had to wait, I didn't have to wait, but because I binge watched it. But even though the fandom had to wait, it's not like they waited for something that was absolute crap.
No,
it's not like Sherlock Series 4,
or Game of Thrones,
or Game of Thrones Series 8. I'm
still processing Game of Thrones. I still can't talk about it without getting obscenely angry.
But let's not talk about that. But that thing of waiting for something and then finding it's absolute crap.
Yes.
It was of such high quality, and they really dedicated everything to it, and
they
special
did.
Effects, and it was last 2 episodes.
Gorgeous. And can we talk about the music?
Oh, the music.
The music. It introduced me to Ruel.
Yeah.
To Mattis, to who else have I? Oh, SYML.
Mm-hmm.
They sing the song, the most agonising scene between Malik and 318, Fear of the Water.
Yeah,
pain, absolute pain. It is such a wonderful, wonderful show.
Yeah.
And I know we've really skimmed the surface. I mean, I could talk for ages about the individual couples, and Luke. Let's talk about Luke Baines as Jonathan as well, because we didn't talk about him.
Right. Having had read the books,
because
I was going from a book perspective, I was like, right, okay. Not as a negative thing. It was just kind of. That's not what I expected.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the books, as mentioned in our other video, you meet him as Sebastian,
who has a different face.
Who has a completely different face.
Because he was played by a different actor.
Yeah, and it was played by a different actor. Yeah, and
Will Tudors, who was really good as Sebastian. Yeah,
and I kind of got used to him.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is not him. We're looking at a guy with a different face now, and it was quite jarring. But
I can't remember why, but there was a reason why. I think Will Tudors couldn't do it for some reason, so they had to recast.
Oh,
and then that's why they said that
the whole thing that he had stolen someone's image.
So he had burned away his false image,
right.
And then he was
right.
Jonathan.
Okay, right. So so this is why I was like, book he just has a different name, not a
Yeah,
different face.
no,
It was just
face in the show. Yeah,
but the way in which he is as Jonathan, it's quite close to the book.
It is.
It is how he's kind of void of emotion
and yet very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
I think he did a fantastic job. God, his cheekbones could cut glass. He's got like the most incredible cheekbones.
Awesome.
It's crazy. I think he fits in the Shadowhunter world.
He did.
It's not.
Definitely.
It doesn't feel like he's just been put there to play the character. He's from there. He's organic to the world.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made him quite terrifying. It stepped it up a level.
Do you know who else steps in and steps up? Mama Maris.
Mama Maris.
The glow up of the century.
Mama Maris, yeah. So Alec and Izzy's Mama Maris. She's
a bit of a battle axe at first.
Yeah, she's a bit of a bitch,
but
to say the least. But she relaxes and she becomes this really wonderful character. But you can understand why she is the way she is in the first series, especially.
Yeah.
And very linked to the book.
Yes.
So, maybe it's that thing they just wanted to soften her a bit more.
Yeah.
But I love what they did with her.
Yeah, they changed her in a natural way.
And especially with her ending with Luke, I was like, at first I was like, Luke? Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Luke.
And then I was like, I saw them together and like, damn, I'm in.
Yeah.
I am in. Because that was really lovely.
They totally...
Because if you think about it, they have gone through the circle thing with Valentine. Yeah. They've had their own separate things that have happened, their own separate relationships. They've had their own kind of hostilities towards each other because the clay versus the werewolves and all that lot. And then with the Downworlders and the Shadowhunters coming together, and they are part of the team that kind of instigates or, is a part of that. It makes absolute sense for them. I will say one thing, though, that I was really pissed off with.
What?
That they killed off Jocelyn.
Yeah.
They
just kind of fridged Jocelyn.
Why?
Why? I to be honest, I didn't mess up.
No,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, not because of the stuff, because they didn't give her much range in the series.
They didn't give her a lot
but it was just a bit like, she could have gone somewhere else. She didn't necessarily have to die.
But if you think about it, because spoiler, Alec is possessed and kills her, which leads on to the party. Yeah. Where they all get possessed, and that's an amazing episode.
Yeah, that is actually a really good episode.
210 called "Love Is the Devil." I love that one. Yeah. But that leads on to Alec attempting suicide, which leads on to their relationship deepening. Yeah. For Clary, it means she has to come to terms with losing her mother, which means that Jace has to support her more. Yeah. It does actually mean that their stories carry on. Yeah, yeah. So I get that, but I was just a bit like, she marries Luke in the book. I wanted to marry Luke. It was the book brain of me not wanting to disconnect. Yeah, I know. But you really do have to divorce yourself from the books, don't you?
Do. Yeah.
But in a good way,
in a good way, yeah.
It's not like, I know we've bitched and moaned about Agatha Christie. Yeah. It's not like that. No. This is not pretending to be the books. No. I have to say that. Yeah. They did do their own thing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't mind. No. Because I didn't feel like the characters were betrayed.
No, and it felt organic and real to the world.
Yes.
So, it's kind of like if, like, in a Agatha Christie kind of way, giving the killer a knife instead of a gun.
Yes. Yes, I know what you mean.
It's not gonna...
Changing the weapon.
It doesn't change the story. It just puts a different perspective.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the integrity of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the format. It doesn't change the characters.
Yeah.
It just gives them a bit different thing to play with and widen the world.
But the thing is like, the characters from the book I recognised on screen.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But they were doing different things. It's not like Game of Thrones, where you spend 8 years getting the character to a point and going, she's got a vagina, she's a queen, therefore she's got to go crazy, because it was like foreshadowed in season 1 when she watched her abusive rapist brother get killed and showed no emotion.
Yeah.
I cannot believe they actually said that.
Okay, Laura, just have a drink.
But Shadowhunters did not portray their characters, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I feel so satisfied with the ending of it. Yeah. But if anybody wants to pick it up and run with it, please do, because I would be there. I really miss it.
Yeah.
I really, really miss it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I just, guys, you all did so good. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. And it's quite funny also that when I was watching it, I picked up a lot of, it's the same props as in the film.
Yeah, because it's the same production company.
So it's the same portal door. It's the same steel. It's the same books. Yeah. And I'm like, I think the cup that, Clary puts in the film is in there. And I'm like, do they seriously just raid the props? Because I suppose if it's there, if it's the same production company, use it. But that was really quite funny. But I just one last other thing. I loved the different races that were depicted in regards to the vampires, the fairies, the werewolves, the Shadowhunters, the warlocks. They have their own strengths and weaknesses, and those were all shown.
Yes, they were.
And I loved the fact that you learned history.
Yep.
For all of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't a case of you're just dumped into this world and you just have to figure out what the rules are.
Yeah.
They took the time to tell you things. But maybe it's that thing because a TV show allows you to have more time. It can do that.
And I liked as well actually that they used that time to show things like you know the episodes where the Clave want to sort of keep tabs on all downworlders, and they're required to give hair and blood samples. And a lot of the downworlders are like, absolutely not, no way. Yeah. And Alec becomes complicit in this because he's trying to do the right thing in his head, which is do what the Clave tell you. Yeah. But then he's got Magnus going, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And they have a row about it. And how Alec realises how wrong this is. Yeah. And he stands up and he says, this is wrong.
Yeah.
We as Shadowhunters cannot descend into this. And they brought in Simon's Jewish heritage as part of that. And I'm going, this is brilliant. Yeah. This is fantastic. This is such an easy and accessible way of explaining to children that governments can control entire... populations
just
of people.
Because it's a fantasy thing doesn't mean it's disconnected from us.
But that's it. I think all really good fantasy is ultimately rooted in reality.
It's like X-Men and such. That there's so much human root from it.
It's like anything. It's like Harry Potter. There is a basis of reality within the fantasy world. Yeah. And that's why it works. Yeah. And it's amazing. And I loved it. And I love all of you. Yeah. Not that any of you are going to see this, but you're all awesome.
And just one last point.
Go on then.
Character development.
Amazing. Amazing.
But for me, I think the way they did it, Raphael.
that made me... Oh my god, it was so perfect.
Raphael,
it was so perfect.
Raphael in the books, I was like, he's a character that you don't forget. He's a character you do not forget. And when they did things like in the TV show, because he's quite a hostile character
at first. He's lovely afterwards.
Yeah, but once you get to know him, he's all right, and he takes Simon under his wing with the whole
He does.
vampire thing. Makes him see some truths about the world, the down world, and everything. But when he does things like the stuff to do with his sister, who he looks after,
Izzy.
and Izzy, the stuff. Oh God, his relationship with Izzy is stunning. The stuff for the church, the homeless that he feeds, and stuff like that.
Because he wants to do good,
and the fact that at the end he becomes a priest. I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing.
Given his background and
his
his faith. Because he always kept faith in God.
Even though he was a vampire, he couldn't say God, he couldn't pray, he couldn't do any of that.
It was such beautiful, and I love. I mean, the actor that plays him is wonderful. I don't know his name, but the actor that plays him is wonderful. But the fact that they took the time to do that development, that was stunning, and it felt complete. And he's a proper best friend to Simon. Yes, he is. He's a genuine best friend. Yeah. Sorry, I just thought one other tiny thing. Go on. Gem. Right. Okay. Right. So in the Infernal Devices, if you haven't seen our video where we talked about it, there is a character called Gem. You are genuinely crying. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you then. It just came out. Right, there's a character called Gem who becomes Brother Zachariah, and then he gets transformed back into his Gem self. And in Shadowhunters, they did this amazing thing where he is kind of still Brother Zachariah, but he is in the form of how Gem looks. He's Asian. He's you get seen like that, but he still uses the powers of the Silent Brothers, where he thinks things. He doesn't say things, but people hear their thoughts. And he has this amazing scene with Magnus, and they're talking about their past, and you know that you can trust me. You know you can trust me when I say this. And then Gem actually breaks his silent vows, which he's had for hundreds and hundreds of years, to tell Magnus something about Alec and their relationship, going, and I'm telling the truth because of what the hell we've been through. And you didn't understand what that meant. And then Laura read the Infernal Devices and you knew what that meant. And you're crying now! And he officiates the Alec wedding. Yeah. And do you know what's so beautiful is that the actor that plays him, Ken Ho, I think is his name, is gay himself.
Oh, is he? Oh,
yes, he is. He's gay. He is a Chinese American gay actor, and he said that seeing that when he was a teenager, if he could have seen that, that would have made things so much easier for him. So that broad, beautiful smile is totally like natural, and it is. You don't really get a sense of the history between Gem and Magnus, but it is deep and it is pure, and Gem is everything.
But the fact that they brought Gem into it
was wonderful, because they could have just
it was
bothered.
It was a perfect nod to the people who've read the books, and there's lots of other nods to the people who've read the books as well.
Easter eggs in there.
And even things like the slogans on Simon's t-shirts and stuff like that.
Oh, so
posters
good.
On his walls.
I just love it so much, and I miss it terribly.
So if anybody wants to go and make another series, we'd be happy with that.
And the fact they cancelled it in Pride Month, and then Freeform had the nerve to use Malik as their, look at us, we're supporting Pride. And I'm like,
we're supporting Pride, but we're cancelling your show.
Oh, it's bad. But no, Shadowhunters is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Whether you're a fan of the books or not, Give it a go. Give it a go. And if you are a fan of the books, be aware that you're going to have to disconnect your mind, just because things are shifted. Things are in different orders, all that kind of stuff. But you won't be disappointed. I wasn't disappointed.
No.
At all.
No.
Love it, and just go with it.
I don't know. I haven't seen anybody really slagging it off.
No. And I think out of watching all the episodes, because as I said, I binged them, there was like one or two that was a bit of a dud.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so terrible that I felt myself completely bored out of my mind watching it. It was just kind of you have those occasional episodes.
Yeah.
And that's out of the entire 3 series.
Yeah. It was, oh God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Look, just do yourself a favour and just watch it, because it's everything. And when the DVDs are released, I'm getting them.
1st of July, we get here in the UK, we get Series 1
on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and DVD. They come out and DVD. Yeah.
Matthew Daddario's eyes in Blu-ray quality. I may not live.
I've pre-ordered. Because
Yeah,
I really want a copy. It's really weird, like, because like Riverdale Series 1 came out on DVD ages ago. I don't think they've never released it. But this is a thing with Netflix series. I think it's that thing that once it's finished,
yeah, they will.
Then they'll do it.
Yeah.
But until then, they won't. Like Stranger Things, they haven't released that at all.
No.
But it'd be really great if they did.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, but yeah, watch it, enjoy it.
It's
go
fantastic.
with it if you've read the books, and just go with it. And
oh God, it's so good. Yeah. It is honestly like. It made me cry.
Yeah.
So many times.
I probably cried. I didn't expect to cry. No. And just FYI, check out the channel Abnormally Adam.
Oh God,
his reactions, Adam's reactions are absolutely wonderful. A lot of this have been taken down because of copyright, but a lot of Series 3 is still available. He's done like
so good
reactions to bloopers and advert. He absolutely loves Malik. Malik is his life. He always refers to Matt, who plays Alec, as his son.
My son!
He's absolutely amazing. So if you haven't checked him out, I'll put a link to his channel as well in this.
He's wonderful.
Check him out. He's absolutely fantastic. So yeah,
that's that.
I think that's it. So yeah, thank you, Shadowhunters, and we think we've finished talking about all the Cassandra Clare stuff.
We should say what Ave Aquae Vale.
There you go.
Which means
Ave
Vale.
Sorry.
Which means hail and farewell.
There you go.
Shadowhunters. So
hail and farewell.
Thank you so much.
By the angel.
By the angel.
Another Shadowhunter saying. Yeah, it's what they, instead of saying, oh my God, they say, oh, by the angel. But anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye. See ya. Bye.